welcome back to the channel. Today we have a 2012 Chevrolet Camaro SS, and it's not a build. We're going to part this one out, much to the dismay of the afternoon crew who really wanted an orange convertible. But she gets in enough trouble with her GMC Terrain 4-cylinder, so she definitely doesn't need a V8, or I will never get a pizza because she'll be in jail. So we're going to part this one out. So I bought this car because I have really good luck selling these LS engines, and this one has the LS3 with an automatic transmission. It's actually an L99. They sell pretty quick, 88,000 miles, and supposedly it runs and drives. But of course it's an auction car, so the battery's dead. Now, while it's mounted up to the trailer here, might be a good time to pull the front end over, give ourselves a little more room in there, and see if we can get it running and driving. So once we do all that and we get it off the trailer, we'll take a better look at it, and then you can see why I decided to part this out instead of rebuilding it. I mean, after all, it is just a Camaro. We're back at the shop. We're going to get it clamped up to our mobile frame rack. It's tied down, but we're going to be pulling against those straps. They're going to stretch quite a bit, so we'll actually chain it down, make pulling this a little bit easier. Just going to pull the subframe over, that way we can just pull against that chain. Get our frame rail alignment tool. Need to get the hook in here, so we got to kind of open it up at the end of the frame rail where the bumper reinforcement mounts. So we got our hook in there. Now we'll use our mobile frame rack pulling tower. Pull this rail over. These are high strength steel. They're never going to go back where they belong. They're not repairable. So we're just going to pull it over, get it out of our way. It actually bent a portion of the subframe. So now we'll grab the headlight removal tool. Sometimes you need to use the tool a couple times to fully remove the light. This is all according to the repair manual. Apply as directed. I win. So we'll unplug what's left of our light. And we'll pull the top of the radiator support over. Pull the bottom rail so to give us a little room. Now we can pull the top over. The rail still has to go a little more. Still a little bit of light left. We'll break that out. So we'll throw a chain around this rail. I wasn't sure my hook was going to stay in there. This chain will stay on, I hope. We can pull a little harder on it then. It'll take a lot more to move it. That looks like enough. Keep a little tension on it, stress relieve it, hopefully it'll stay there. That's the multi-purpose headlight tool. Ship it! I can finish pulling the upper radiator support over a little bit. Perfect. Should give us gaps better than a Tesla. So we'll pull our condenser off. Pull the line out of the bottom. No need to discharge it. That was done at the accident scene. There's a hose in the bottom. This is the cooler for the power steering. It's actually the bottom of the condenser. So we'll pull that off of there. The line is pinched and cracked on the other side. So it's pretty much empty. Pull the hose off the other side. Twist it off of there. The crash sensor for the airbags is in the way, so we're going to have to unplug that and take it out of the way. It's not supposed to be, but due to the couple recent front end alignments it's had, it's in the way now. Push the condenser back in, that way I can get to the bolt for the AC line. Now we're going to unbolt the cooling fans, then unbolt the condenser from the radiator. We'll just separate all these pieces, it'll come out easier. pry our condenser off of our radiator with our condenser removal tool. Pry the line off, and our condenser's out. Disconnect the mass airflow sensor. Pull the intake tube off the throttle body. Then we'll pull the top of the air box off. Get this mess out of the way so we have a little room to work in here. Well, we can get to the upper radiator hose. Spring clamps. Yay! There's a coolant bypass hose. Take that off of there. I'm going to get what's left of our cooling fan out of here in pieces. In the bottom of the radiator, there's a transcooler. It's still good, so I'm just going to peel the bottom off the plastic tank. Leave the transcooler in there, then I don't have to worry about bypassing those. So our radiator's out. It's got a leak though. I'll unbolt our power steering cooler lines. This is the one that's pinched. Got in the way of the front end of the other car. Now we're just going to cut it off and leave a straight piece. Then we'll put that end in the other end of the hose. Now our cooler is just a little bit shorter. It'll work for what we need it for. Put our hose clamps on and tighten them up. Real hose clamps. Spring clamps wouldn't make it here. So we'll pull the engine cover off the top. And our oil fill cap. Well, the neck for it anyway. Some of it. The rest of it's still down in the valve train. So I'm going fishing. I want to get that out of there, because if any of that gets stuck in the valve train, we're going to have problems. So I found a piece. Make sure that's all that's in there. It is. So fill up our power steering fluid and throw an oil cap on it. Should be ready to start it. Hook up our jumper pack because the battery's dead. Or so I thought. The battery's actually fully charged. The fire department cut the battery cable. I just haven't figured that out yet. So when I do, I'll just replace the cable. Luckily, the only one they cut was the negative cable. It's really short, just attaches to the bottom of the trunk, right where the battery is. Nothing. $88,103 miles. And it runs. Got a few lights on. Might have something to do with the fact that the front end's missing. We have good oil pressure. The charging system's working. All the rest of our fluids aren't warmed up yet. Power steering pump's a little unhappy. The belt tensioner pulley's a little broken. So we have half a belt on there. But it should be good enough for us to do what we need to do and check it out. So now that it runs, let's spend a little time and make it drivable. Pull the wheel off the passenger side. It's kind of limp. Our inner tie rod's broke. So we'll unbolt the outer tie rod end. It's just spinning, so got a little trick here. Since the gnome was working, I wasn't going to bother him. We'll just put a jack underneath it, push the tie rod into the knuckle, and then unbolt it. Comes right out then. Let the jack down, tie rod end falls right out. Now we can unbolt our lower control arm, or one of them anyway. We'll unbolt the control arm from the subframe. That's my control arm loosening face. We had to build this overly complicated suspension for no apparent reason. Apparently they let the German engineers design it. Knock it out of the knuckle. And the subframe. It's a little bent. I win. Now we put the other control arm out. Radius arm. Whatever you want to call it. Unbolt it from the subframe. Knock it loose from the knuckle. This car was definitely driven year-round. It's a little rusty. It is from Indiana, so they do use salt. Because nothing says great winter car like a rear-wheel drive convertible. I win. So now we'll pull our inner tie rod out, pull a little clamp off. We'll open up the inner clamp. Just stick a screwdriver, just kind of twist it around and then open it up. And you can reuse that clamp if you're poor like me. And since I'm just doing this so I can test drive it, I really don't want to spend any money I don't have to. So we'll pull the boot back. Get our tie rod end wrench in there. We don't need our inner tie rod tool. These are actually easy to get to. So we'll break it loose, spin it off of there. The end of it's broke and it's bent. Tie rod end's having a bad day. So now we have our new used one. I parted out another Camaro, so I had one left over. We'll put a little Loctite on there. I don't need it coming off on the test drive. Spin our tie rod end on. No alignment needed. I never took the outer tie rod end off. So our inner tie rod end tool actually wouldn't even work here. Tighten it down. Click. Now we can slide our boot back up. Put the clamp on the outside. Slide the boot over the rack. And we'll pinch our clamp. A pair of dull side cutters works perfect for this. Won't cut through the clamp. I'll tighten it up. And we put our control arms in. Come on. Get in your home. Are you too good for your home? Tighten down the control arm. The tie rod end on. And we got the other control arm. Run the bolt in on the subframe. Put it back up in the knuckle. And start tightening everything up. I know you're supposed to do it with the suspension loaded, but do we really care? I don't plan on putting any more than 50 miles on it or so. So we'll tighten up the rest of the bolts on our knuckle. And we're spinning, so we'll jack it up, put some tension on it. I'm going to tighten them up. Pull our wheel liner out so it's not getting stuck on our tire. Now we'll throw our tire back up there. Pull the wheel and tire off the other side. We need to get our wheel liner off this side, otherwise it's going to be getting caught in the tire. There's a couple screws in the back on the rocker, and a bunch of little push pins. And then it just comes right out, if it's not wedged in there, like this one. I win. In the pile. Throw our tire back up, and we're ready to go. We can drive it around just a little bit. Can't get it too hot, because we don't have a radiator. So we can drive it without a radiator, but it won't get up to operating temperature, so we're not totally sure if everything's working like it should. So I decided to hack it together. We have an Enclave radiator, some radiator hoses out of just about everything that was in the yard, and clamped it all up. It's not leaking. So I'm not real proud of what I've done. Okay, I'm a little proud of what I've done, especially if it works. So let's take it for a ride, get it up to operating temperature, and see just how good our drivetrain is. We all know how this goes. Of course, the last time the afternoon crew unloaded a car, there was a lot of screaming, but it was all me. And the next video is me replacing the fenders of my trailer. So let's see how this goes. I know sometimes it's hard to tell, but that's actually not a joke. She really did smash the fenders of my trailer, and has absolutely refused to load or unload a vehicle since. It's a good thing she likes this car, or she would not be cooperating. Wheels a little bit to the left. Okay, go. So that was in fact an authentic scream. She was terrified of taking this thing off the trailer. I guess she thinks I care about the car or the trailer. So now it's time for a proper test drive. And we all know what we do with parts cars. Didn't intend for it to be this way, but all my parts cars end up doing donuts. Oh yeah, we're also in Mexico, just so you know. I can't see where I'm going, and you can't see me. So we'll start again over here. Alright, so the pizza girl really does like this car. It's time for her to drive it. She's never done donuts. She's terrified. She's a good sport though. I thought it was going to take a lot more coaxing to get her into the car. Come on, we're wasting camera footage. Let's go.
Oh, yikes. I don't know how to do this.
You're going to learn.
Okay.
It's very easy. She's somehow afraid she's going to wreck it.
Okay.
It's already wrecked.
Go forward.
We're fine.
Straight. Go straight a little bit. Okay. Now, step on the brake. Hold the brake down. Now, floor it. Alright, stop. Okay. go around that thing so we can get back in a good spot. You want to let off the brake a little bit because you're just dragging the front wheels. Keep going. Over the
So
wheel.
because this does have four-wheel Brembos, the brakes work pretty good. With regular calipers on the back, it'd be really easy to do burnouts and donuts.
Okay.
So
Step on the brake.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hold the brake. We're gonna step on the gas as soon as the back tires start spinning. Let off the brake and turn the wheel and just ride it out. And then when you're done, just let off the gas and hit the brakes and it'll just stop.
I don't know that I can. Okay, just tell me what to do as I'm doing it. Okay, go.
You didn't let the tires spin enough.
Okay.
You got to get the tires going and then let off the brake. Keep the wheel cranked, that way we won't go flying off the end of the parking lot.
I'm a little worried about that.
The first try wasn't so successful.
Okay, so
We'll try again,
tell me
All right,
when
stop.
to.
as long as the federales
Roll
don't show up to arrest us.
Okay. Crank the
Now.
wheel all the way. That'll take one less thing right now.
Okay.
Stand on the gas and the brake at the same time. And when the tires start spinning, more gas.
There's kind of a feathering of the brake pedal that you kind of have to do. Enough to stop the front wheels, but enough that the back can still turn. That's what's making it difficult for her. And the fact that she's kind of scared to.
So you got to let off the
Floor
brake
it.
just a little bit, not all the way, and hold the gas all the way to the floor at the same time. Go ahead. All right, that's it. You're not being violent enough. All right. Okay, so you're letting off the gas. Don't let off the gas. No, under no circumstances let off the gas unless you want to totally stop. So,
Okay, so
go forward
don't-
a little bit more. Okay.
We're going to turn the wheels this
So,
time.
step on the brake.
Give her one last thing to think
Turn
about.
the wheel all the way. Just pound on the gas and don't let up until I scream or you want to
She
stop.
just didn't want to give it enough gas.
All right.
I don't think I have it in me.
So we'll keep
You
practicing.
just gotta learn it. You gotta get the tires spinning.
Okay.
So you gotta do a burnout first. And once the tires start spinning, they get soft. And then you can start going. Then you can just start doing donuts like I was doing.
We're just going to go in circles really fast.
Let off the gas.
I know. Okay, I don't like this at
All right.
all.
You can sit over here and I'll show you how to do it.
Okay. I think that is a better idea. Ugh. Yikes.
She's giving up. She made it longer than I thought she would.
Come on.
Maybe on the next
Not that
one,
hard.
she'll be ready.
It is.
There's still some tires left. We haven't broken the car yet. So we'll break it now.
Hey, now we're done.
Oh,
That's all you gotta do.
okay, I can't do that.
Since I can't see where we're going, and I think we lost the belt. We did lose the belt.
Okay.
And we broke it. I have no power steering. I assume because that string of a belt finally came off. So before we overheat or break it any further, I'm just gonna go put it back up on the trailer. As we still have to make it home. It's a long way back. You know, being that we're in Mexico and all. So we're back from Mexico. I put the belt back on, and we're going to take it for a Sunday cruise. And it's actually Sunday. It should be safe to drive. I mean, I think this car is road ready. Let's see if we checked all the boxes. Front end that was just pulled over and not totally straight. Got that one. Suspension parts changed and no alignment. Check. Deployed airbag. Check. Deployed driver's seatbelt tensioner. Check. Hacked up cooling system. Check. Yep, we're ready to go. And for all the people saying that I'm driving a car that's not insured and everything else, you probably don't know how dealer plates work. So yes, it is insured. It might not totally be street legal, being that it doesn't have lights, but I just won't turn. And it's not dark, so I don't need headlights. So we're just gonna make sure that the trans shifts, everything works.
nothing too crazy, because we're not in Mexico anymore. So far everything's good. We're getting it up to operating temperature. I did let it idle for a little while so it would warm up before we left. Windshield's got a little crack in it, but apparently when it was towed after the accident, they didn't have the hood latched and it flew up. That's what cracked the windshield. Those darn tow truck drivers. And we're gonna pull over. I'm gonna put the top up because I don't know how much you guys can see with the camera in the sun. So this will either be better or worse. We'll find out. And it would show her the fact that this top is so much easier to use than her Mustang top was. I really tried liking Camaros. I just don't. Convertible's okay when the top's down, but once the top's up, blind spots are everywhere. The windows are small. I just don't like them. They are fun to drive though. We're back on our cruise. I think we were better off with the top down. Put a few miles on it, make sure everything's good. It's not often that you get to test drive a drivetrain for this long, so I'm going to take advantage of it. Someone that wants to buy it might want to know that, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. So I'll try our air conditioning. It's not working. Must be the fact that there's no condenser in it. Or Freon. Well, that's far enough. I'm happy. We've gone about 3.5 miles, so we'll turn around and head back. Give us about 7 miles. Plus our driving in Mexico, about 10 miles. That's enough to verify things are good. So we can see a little bit more now that they're not driving at the sun. But I think we're going to stop, put the top back down. So what's the point of a convertible when the top's up? You didn't think I was going to drive normal the whole time, did you? But I never exceeded the speed limit. So we'll put our top back down so we can use the convertible as intended. So the first round of donuts was an epic disaster. The ABS system had codes in it. I couldn't use the traction control button. Now, if you don't know how to use the fun button, there's actually 4 settings. There's traction and stability control on, there's traction control off, there's traction and stability control off, and then there's competitive driving, which is basically launch control. To turn off the traction control, you just hit the button once. To put it in competitive driving mode, you hit it again, and it'll say it on the display screen. If you want to turn everything off, you start with the traction control on, push the button down, you hold it for about 10 seconds, and both the traction off and stability light will come on, and you're good to go. You're going to have fun, and the car's not going to stop you. But you can't do that when there's codes in there and all those lights are on. So it's just a matter of clearing out the codes, and then I could have fun again. One last rip before I have to drop off the pizza girl, so she can follow me over. We're gonna drop this off. Alright, get the truck in.
But now I'm going to see if the paddle shifters work. While I have it, might as well check everything. So far the only thing I've found is the lights on the front don't work, and neither does the air conditioning. And there's an airbag light. Other than that, everything else works like it should. So I did briefly think about rebuilding this car, but because it was driven year-round and the bottom was a little bit rusty, kind of deterred me. They're not worth a whole lot of money. The drivetrains are what's worth everything on these cars. So if I can sell the drivetrain and make some money on it, it's probably more than I'd make actually rebuilding it, and I don't have to spend as much time. So there were little things that were wrong with this car. It would have needed 4 new wheels because they were all corroded. I mean, they're good enough. There's nothing really wrong with them. Well, the one's a little smashed, but it still holds air and it isn't bent. The rear seat does have a cigarette burn in it, and the bottom. The front seats are actually in great shape, so is the back. The back of the back, anyway. There's a little damage on the quarter, so I would end up paint that. So by the time this was all done, I would have had to put a front end on it, an airbag, seatbelt, paint just about the entire car, because it is that metallic orange. It doesn't match all that well from the factory, but I'd want it to match when I was done. That's how you can tell if a Camaro's ever been repaired, if the paint matches, because they never match. Not any color. So by the time you got it done with all that, the amount of time I would have invested in this car isn't really worth it. It's a great parts car. Maybe I'll find a Camaro that's sitting in the back end, and the pizza girl can have that one. Maybe I better get her a V6. As much as I hate them, it'll keep her out of trouble. So there you have it. My hack radiator repair worked. Let us drive the car, get it up to operating temperature, and make sure that everything was good. No check engine lights, never skipped a beat. So, now I can sell a perfectly running 88,000 mile drivetrain. But wait, there's more. If you noticed when I was working on it, some of the parts looked a little bit newer than others. Well, I found this. It is a receipt for a brand new GM long block and a bunch of other little parts that were installed just 4,000 miles before the accident. Meaning, I have a 4,000 mile GM engine in this thing. Still an 88,000 mile transmission, but that's nothing. So, now I'm definitely selling it because my plans have changed and I don't need a drivetrain that new. That was a huge bonus. About $10,000 worth. That was parts and labor. About $6,000 in parts. It's not often you find bonuses like this, but every once in a while, it is nice. Makes up for the times when you find the things you weren't expecting. You know, like the mistake truck. Anyway, so if some of these parts will work for your project or your build, I'll put some prices for the common parts I sell down in the description. Email me if you want one of those parts, or if I didn't list something that you might be interested in. That radiator configuration I have is going to be a big bucks. It's custom. But other than that, everything else will be fairly priced. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. So if you're interested, just send me an email. Somebody just started their lawnmower.